Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.
This is PBS Reno Arts from the studio of PBS Reno in Reno, Nevada. I'm Dave Santina, sitting across from two funny, smart people who have a show that is in mid-run right now at the Good Luck Macbeth. It's Ian Sorensen and Chris Daniels. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.
And being on this. I it's unusual to talk about a show that's already started. Usually it's like, hey, this is coming up. Don't miss it. But you're in mid-run. We're recording this right after you've started. It's June 30th in our real time, but this is dropping on July 14th. So you're mid-run. You can make up whatever you'd like about it. Like, it's been the best 2 weeks of your lives. We'll never know.
Honestly, I'm going to assume it has been.
Mm-hmm. I like putting that out into the universe.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the best 2 weeks. Congratulations on your incredible success.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Who knew that anyone would be motivated to drop millions of dollars upon the both of your heads
I know.
just because they
wow.
loved Bottom Gun so much?
I know,
Crazy.
didn't see it coming, but honestly, thank you.
The Tonys just happened, and yet we're already nominated.
It's so
It's
weird.
nuts.
All the names, the Tonys, the Bettys, all of the names you've been nominated for. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, all right, Bottom Gun. I have not seen it. I've read a little bit about it. I am excited to go and see it as of now. It's just starting, but if you're listening, like we said, this is mid-run. You got a couple weeks to go, so please get out to Good Luck Macbeth and enjoy the show. So, for those of us who have not experienced it yet, tell me about what Bottom Gun is. What's the story?
So kind of going back. So Good Luck Macbeth has done a number of spoofs over the years.
Yeah.
They did Dinosaur Park based on Jurassic
Dinosaur Park. I didn't get that one, but I did see Shark,
Right, Shark
Yeah.
based
The
on
Jaws.
Jaws, which I helped write as well. And then there
which was very funny.
Thank you. Die Difficult was another one, which is Die Hard.
Die Hard.
And that was one of the
It
Christmas
was a Night of the
shows.
Living Dead.
That was a different
Was
thing.
that somebody else's?
I think that was
Yeah.
like an original work from somebody
okay.
else that wasn't involved.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I didn't like that one as
Oh,
much as I like Shark.
You heard it here first.
It was all right, just a little long.
No, it's all right.
Had too many endings. It was a little Lord of the Ringsy. I just wasn't as
it's a
emotionally
common
invested at that
criticism.
time at those characters as I was with
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. So, Shark was great. I still have a sticker on my water bottle from that show.
Awesome.
Oh, I love that.
so-
you guys killed it with that. So yes,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah,
So
we
this
wrapped
is
up
in there.
Die Difficult, and basically, we kind of dispersed. All the writers did, and we weren't sure what we were going to do next. And then I think Ash Atack, who is the de facto leader of spoofs and parodies at GLM, as she has called herself.
Okay.
She was like, "Well, what should we do next?" And we were kind of, knocking ideas around. And she's like, "Maybe we should do Top Gun." And honestly, a couple of us weren't inspired by that because I had never seen it.
Oh, really?
I'd never seen it before we basically started talking about doing a spoof
that's
about it.
funny.
And I'm like, I don't know about the angle. And then she's like, what would we even call it? And I'm like, and I think I'm going to credit myself a little bit with this one. I
You
thought,
do that. You do
I
that.
thought, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, I think we should just call it the opposite. We should call it Bottom Gun. And from then on, it became a whole other thing. And she kickstarted it. And Chris, I think, like, how did you kind of get involved?
Yeah, so this is my first parody. I was asked to come on board because the whole angle that Ash pitched me on was she wants to do a queer parody. She wanted a queer writer's room. She wanted a queer cast. She wanted a queer storyline. And honestly, if you watch Top Gun, it's a pretty gay movie.
Yeah. Not even undertones.
No,
Very much
no.
overtones.
Oh, yes. Like, we took direct lines from the movie and put them in the play because we're like, well, we can't write better than this.
Well, that's funny. And then that was me. That's my phone making a noise. Sorry,
worries.
guys.
Thought it was me and I panicked.
No, it was the don't forget to call your family and tell them you're still alive alarm.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
So I saw Top Gun. I remember Top Gun, and yeah, there were a lot of sweaty, shirtless men in that movie. I do recall this, especially the famous volleyball scene.
Correct.
So I think I'm picking up what you're putting down there. So yeah, so then you're taking that to further into sort of the parody world.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at, Tom Cruise's entire life and career. There has been this elephant in the room,
Right.
this question hanging around. So it felt appropriate to play both to the canon that is homoeroticism in Top Gun with Tom Cruise's questionable sexuality, and then you have Scientology. I mean, there's just a whole host of ways to make fun of Tom Cruise, and we have brilliantly checked all the boxes.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Now, and you've checked those boxes with a lot of writers. I saw a list. There are 8 people who contributed to this.
Yes.
That seems like a recipe for, well, no pun intended, too many cooks in that kitchen to write a show. How do you make that work when you've got that many voices trying to come to a cohesive one unit?
I think one good idea we had was to kind of kickstart it together. So we were all in the writer's room when we first just started the first sentence, and we're like, okay, what tone are we shooting for? So we're all on the same page about that. Are we like, how silly are we getting?
Right.
We're kind of coming up with like how a big bang to kind of start this thing off. And then I think it was just about trusting each other. I mean, there were things that I pitched that weren't used. And it's very much like, I'm going to fight for some things, and some things I'm going to be like, you know what? It's okay if nobody else is on board with this. I will just take a step back and just, if we want to go with a different idea. So it's about not being too precious about your jokes or your ideas. Although there was one, and I don't know if I should even mention it. No, I don't want to give it away.
I know, I had it in my head.
There is one particular bit in it that I brought up probably the first writers meeting that I was at.
First writers meeting.
Yeah, and I was like, and nobody cared about it.
No.
Like nobody was on board. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm fighting for this and I want it to be in it, and it stayed in. And by the way, I think it's playing pretty well.
From my professional opinion,
I think I'm vindicated
So
for
you're
that.
getting a big laugh for this one. I won't ask what it is. I'll ask this: is in what portion of the show does it occur?
I will say at the very end of this first act.
Okay.
Is it kind of closes out the first act.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. I will look forward to that.
So, and also, like, I have to mention, especially because it is a queer story. I mean, myself, Ryan Costello is another writer who we do improv with actually as well, but he's been involved with a number of spoofs along with me. And we are straight white men,
Right.
and we don't want to invade on that territory or try to put our ideas mixed in with that. We were very much about like, whatever you have in that world, we just want to enhance it, and we want to just make whatever it is funny. Like if we could just pitch jokes and bits and storylines to make it as silly as possible, then that's great. And then without kind of invading on like what your territory essentially. Chris,
Right.
My territory.
I don't want to say something potentially insensitive.
No, it's true. The writer's room, you talked about the difficulty of 8 really brilliant creative people coming in, and how do you create a cohesive piece that has a singular tone? And I think it comes from a place of trusting each other. I mean, I think Ian is comedically brilliant, but Ian's sense of humor is not my sense of humor. Right. And there are things that Ian finds funny that I do not find funny. But I have to trust that in a show, there are going to be multiple audience members with multiple points of views and multiple senses of humor. So how do we appeal to a broad base, especially with a very niche storytelling? And I think, as a queer person in the writer's room, my intention was always, okay, this is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be unhinged, which it is. I think it's the most unhinged of
hands down
the parodies. It's wild. But from the get-go, we had this intention of we wanted a very true, very heartfelt love story. Because honestly, if you look at Top Gun and you see Maverick and Iceman together, you want it to happen. The tension is so palpable. They're in each other's faces, sweat gleaming down their faces. I mean, you want it to happen. And honestly, the preview show that we watch, every time that Maverick and Iceman, you thought they were going in for a kiss and didn't, the audience lost their mind.
Yeah, they were hooked immediately as far as that kind of central relationship goes.
So I think it's
great.
such a incredible feat to have this wildly unpredictable comedic farce, but this central through line of these two characters navigating their sexuality, their identity in a place that you wouldn't typically see a queer love story.
Right.
And the audience is rooting for it. And I mean, I don't want to give it away, but you will leave very satisfied.
Mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
If I may do a naval aviator pun. All right. So I remember the movie. It's been a while, but I remember certain scenes. I suspect we should expect, as an audience, to see some of these scenes parodied, like the volleyball scene. I assume the bar scene with the piano, and I can only imagine what you're going to do with Great Balls of Fire, because that's the song they were singing in the movie.
Yes.
So I'm going to just look forward to how that comes out. We'll see how that plays out. I'm looking forward to that. I can imagine, but that doesn't mean I'm right.
I mean, like Chris said, like there's some things you don't need to change.
Right.
Like some things we just left in because we're like, that's actually fine by itself. But then, we're definitely taking all the touchstones and like weird moments and like, the big, like exactly like the volleyball scene and things like that. And we're blowing them up.
Right.
But we're like hitting all those milestones. So
Are they,
people will be
are
like,
those,
oh, I recognize that.
Yeah. Are those scenes hard to stage? Because that's, these are outdoor or large space of scenes from movies, and now you're trying to put them indoors on a stage. How do you choreograph that?
I mean, can we give all credit goes to the production team, the director, Jayton Newberry.
Yeah, 100%.
He has actually acted in the spoofs. He's never directed one of these before.
Okay.
And he like, we are so horrible as writers as
Terrible.
far as we're like, here's this really expansive, weird idea. Hope you can figure out how to stage it.
Go and make it. Yeah.
And then he would come in and I cannot believe what he did.
I know, it was incredible. And I think that was part of the success. Jayton was in the writer's room from the get-go.
Right.
And so he very much saw our process. He saw our intent. He saw the direction that we were going and was already thinking of ideas before the rehearsal process began. And then you think about, we're doing a parody. We're doing this farce. So it can be anything we want it to be.
Yeah.
So how do you reimagine dogfights and fighter plane fights and stage that? And okay, you're obviously not going to have fighter jets on stage. So we're going to make it as comical as possible. And we're going to give the audience something interesting, because we're not doing an exact mimic or replica of it. We're taking the original source material, even down to the music. You're going to get Take My Breath Away, but you're not going to get it the way you got it in the film. And so a lot of credit to Jane, a lot of credit to the cast. I was in rehearsals for most of the production process. And when I say these actors are brilliant, like our Maverick, this is his first time on stage, and he is absolutely sensational.
I cannot believe that's true.
I cannot. Every single time he amazes me. They continue to find bits. They continue to find moments. They continue to play. So they took our script and elevated it beyond anything that we could ever imagine. I think that's the beauty of doing original work, of doing theater, is that we have a vision, we write a script, it's the bare bones, it's a framework. You hand it to a bunch of creatives who then take their own interpretation, their own licensing on it, and create something that is grander than those two forces could do independently.
Nice. And so I think about this. It does seem incredible that someone who's never been on stage before is able to perform at that level that you're talking about. It seems almost impossible, and yet you're telling me that this is true. How did you find this performer? I mean, this also seems like an unusual first show to appear in. So did it have anything to do with the kind of show it is? Did that help to draw someone to it for the first time?
Maybe. I think I heard, I don't know, this is sort of like secondhand, but I heard he just is gym buddies with our director.
Yeah.
And they just got to know each other, and he probably said, I'm doing this show. And he's like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then he just came and auditioned and knocked it out of the park.
That's really funny. Well, here I had imagined this story, this rags to riches. He was on the street. He happened to be in the back of the building. We invited him in.
We can still imagine that.
Yeah.
They were in the gym.
Right.
They were doing deadlifts. And then all of a sudden, a dream was born.
Say, have you ever been on stage before?
How did you know? That's what I always wanted to do.
And you could really go places.
What's refreshing is I don't recognize... I mean, there's a good number of people in the cast that I'm like, oh, I've seen you in something before. But a majority of them, I'm like, I don't think I've seen you in anything, or maybe this is a new world for you. And they're all killing it.
That's surprising. Because
so it's cool to see that new talent.
I think that's really cool. And this is still a small town in a lot of ways, especially in theater.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many shows, a lot of the same faces,
Right.
peppered, sprinkled in with new faces, but some come back again and again. And so to have this many people who you haven't recognized before is telling. That's exciting. That means there's some fresh faces in the crowd or in the backstage area. I love that. So those of us who have not been to the show yet have something to look forward to, some fresh performances. I would also think that doing a parody might allow someone who's new to it as a performer to be more comfortable, because you're coming in to make fun of something you've already seen and that the world essentially already knows.
Right.
And so you can play off of the existing knowledge of the audience from, they recognize the beginning of a scene or a setting, and then you're like, we're going to take this and turn it on its head, but you don't know that yet. So you're expecting something and you get something else. And I could imagine where that would be empowering in a way to a person who's maybe not that well experienced or seasoned yet as an actor, we'll say.
Right.
It's like you're playing a type but spinning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're not throwing them on stage and being like, could you do Hamlet for the first time?
Yeah.
No, it's that's what's lovely about spoofs is not only is it material that people are familiar with, but also it's so campy and big that it's hard. I mean, you don't have to be subtle. You don't have to be nuanced too much. Like, it's not, you can just be big the whole time and it works because it's just a huge ride the entire time.
Perfect.
That's how I read it anyway.
That sounds great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that very soon. Should people watch the movie before they come to the show?
We always recommend with our parodies that you watch it because you'll have a different experience. You'll see those Easter eggs. You'll see those iconic moments. And a lot of people, interestingly enough, as we're conversing with folks, a lot of people have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
fair. I mean, it was 1986.
Which was not that.
I guess so, but it's also, admittedly, I didn't see it before this either, but it was a huge movie at the time and it's still talked about, and they did a sequel, for God's sake.
Well, and the sequel was recent and was ridiculously popular.
Yes, did very well.
So are there any references in this to that?
Yes.
So there are.
One of the things that we established firmly in the writer's room is, are we going to do Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
We are going to do one. And we felt it was appropriate to bring in references to Top Gun Maverick as sort of an overall container, but the story is really Top Gun.
Yes.
And so if you haven't seen Top Gun, you're going to enjoy it immensely. Because really the iconic things, I think, are a part of our pop culture canon, right? Like the volleyball scene, Take My Breath Away, locker room scenes, homoeroticism. That's all something that you can get having not watched the film. But there are certain lines and certain bit moments that if you've seen the film, you'll appreciate them infinitely more.
Okay. I may have to watch it again then to get ready. My warm-up act would be to watch Top Gun. I don't think I watched it before I saw the sequel movie, so probably there were things in the movie that went over my head that I couldn't remember because it was a while ago, 1986. Let's be honest.
And the sequel it was good, but they did a lot of callbacks.
To
the first movie.
It's so. I mean, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but that's what movies are almost anymore. Is references to the previous movie. Yeah. Remember this?
Remember this?
Remember when that
enjoyed?
happened?
Oh,
remember when you were
nostalgia.
younger and you watched this?
It's that Chris Farley bit from Saturday Night Live when he talked to Paul
Remember
McCartney.
when
Remember when you guys did that? That was
cool.
awesome. Yeah, okay. But how about something else? That'd be cool.
Right.
I like originality. So this is exciting. It's because I love when you can make fun of something that everybody knows and remembers, even if you didn't love it. You know it. It's fun to make fun of that, and you can have a good time and laugh about it. Doesn't mean you don't love the original source material. Like, I love Jaws. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I thought Shark was hilarious.
Thank you.
And lots of good references to other things in there too. Like if you go to that show and you catch all the Easter eggs about every other Shark movie, it's brilliant, really. Thanks. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. Was something I thought was interesting. I read an article in the Reno News and Review about this show. I wonder why. Written by someone who shares a last name with me. Weird. Anyway, she wrote that there was an intimacy director on stage with the actors, which I thought was surprising. I wouldn't think on the surface that this would be the kind of show that would require an intimacy director. So what was the story there?
Yeah, so it's a pretty common practice now in most theater companies to have an intimacy director if there's any sort of physical touch between two characters.
Okay.
And it's really a way to empower actors to understand their own physical boundaries and be able to communicate that. I mean, we even do that in improv. We'll talk about our boundaries before a show in terms of touch. Obviously, if you've watched the movie, you know the iconic sex scene, Take My Breath Away.
Right.
So obviously that's included in it. But this is also a parody. So the sex scenes, there's even more of them and they're outrageous. And so it's really about the safety and comfort of our actors, making sure that the rehearsal room and the production as a whole, that the intimate moments are choreographed. They are the same every single night. And that affords the actors the ability to settle into the role and settle into the space because they don't have to anticipate what's going to happen or how long is that kiss going to last or, know. So it's really, really important. We knew once we started writing, we're like, oh yeah, we need an intimacy coordinator for this. And it's great. The moments and bits are incredible. And I think that's when we get the best out of our actors. When they feel safe enough to play, then their best work comes out of them.
Yeah, makes sense. I can see that. If you're relaxed, you're going to find that extra little spark of creativity because you're not worried about anything else. Makes sense. All right. So that Bottom Gun runs through July 26th at Good Luck Macbeth. People, I know that the website goodluckmacbeth.org is one. Is that the location to get tickets, or are there any? I just want to make sure that if there's any other location that we talk about it.
No, definitely goodluckmacbeth.org.
Okay. And you have come full circle at Good Luck Macbeth now.
I have, yeah.
Were you there at the very beginning?
I was not there at the very beginning. So I came in 2014 after Chad Sweet left and went to Reno Little Theater. So I came in with Joe Atack and I was there from 2014 to 2022, if I'm doing my math correctly, and then have come back as producing artistic director.
Got it. Okay. And by the way, I'm talking to Chris Daniels. I should mention, I just said you. if anyone's listening to this and doesn't know who I'm talking to,
Ian is decidedly not the producing artistic director of GLM.
But you're still a good guy.
No, I still write stuff.
Yeah. And you guys still work together doing improv. Now, PBS Reno first did work with you years ago on an Artifact story about an improv group you were both in called the Utility Players. And that was, it feels like not that long ago, but it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 10 years ago.
And it lasted about 10 years. We kind of ended that endeavor basically almost like a year or so before like the pandemic hit.
Yes.
I think around there.
Yeah.
And then I joined a different group after the pandemic and which we talked about last time Midtown Improv Jam.
It was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
That we were talking about Midtown Improv Jam. So
wow.
So now it's a year-ish later,
and
you guys are doing some new improv stuff.
Yes.
So what's going on?
Midtown Improv Jam is what it was called, and then I can honestly, you could probably. I feel like I've heard the origin story of why our group is called this 3 or 4 times. I couldn't tell you why. Crocodile Nixon is the official name of our group, and we still do the Midtown Improv Jam, technically, like a monthly show at Reno Little Theater.
I remember this name because it happened almost exactly after we posted the podcast last year where we were talking about Midtown Improv Jam. And now we're called Crocodile Nixon.
Yeah. I know.
All right. I'm trying to help here.
Impeccable timing.
I know. Okay. So Crocodile Nixon. So that means that you are still roughly monthly shows, right?
Yes. Monthly shows. And actually, since this is coming out July 14th, our next big anniversary show is tomorrow. July 15th on a Tuesday. Woo. Christopher Daniels, he has guested with us a number of times, and we decided to extend an invitation to him and a few others if they want to be a part of the group permanently. And he said yes, and I was very grateful for that. So it was very beautiful to man, I did improv with you for like 8 or 9 years. And then we're doing it again together.
It's
really wonderful.
How fun. Well, I wish I had a little sound effect, a little fireworks or something to celebrate.
Yeah, let's do that.
That was entirely improv, guys. That's what you can look forward to.
Yeah, no, this is what you expect.
So this is if you're listening to this on the day it dropped, then you better get over there tomorrow to watch Crocodile Nixon at Reno Little Theater. If by chance someone's listening to this after July 15th, they should check where to get your updated dates?
Honestly, same. No, not same. RenoLittleTheater.org is
Okay.
where you must go to check out tickets for us. It's just like $10 a ticket. Monthly shows. It's always on a Tuesday night. And we're trying to venture out a little bit. We've kind of looked at doing some gigs at different kind of locations, so we'll keep kind of on the lookout for that as well.
Okay. Well, I can say from personal experience, it's fun. It's a great time.
Thank you.
You know, you laugh a lot. I mean, look, I've been one of your most consistent champions over the years. You crack me up always. I always enjoy you and other things. And you perform in. I'm talking to Ian now. And
Sorry, Chris.
And you perform. I love Chris too. I'm just saying. I realize I forget. We do have cameras in here that sometimes you get used and sometimes don't. And I'm talking to one, thinking, you know what? No one but me knows who I'm talking to. I'm just saying you all the time. Poor job hosting a podcast.
Oh, it's fine.
That's all right. It's a TV guy trying to do radio. Who am I kidding? So Ian, you've done, you know, I've seen you in plays at Reno Little Theater. I've seen you in other shows as well. But, and you mentioned earlier, Ryan Costello, you both were in Dial M for Murder not that long ago. We had your director in as a guest at the time.
Yeah, Melissa Taylor.
Melissa, talked you guys up. And that was funny because most of that cast, I think, is in your improv group.
Oh yeah, Libby Bakke was the main gal in that, and Bryce Kyle was the detective, and all of them and Ryan and myself, yeah, we do improv together in this group, Crocodile Nixon. So it was kind of nuts, and everyone. It was funny because Ryan would talk about the play, which is a very serious thriller drama, with family members, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be so funny." And he's like, "No, I know we're funny in our improv shows." And then there are funny parts, don't get me wrong, but like we were very much like, you're going to see a whole different side of us. Yeah. Which is really cool to kind of, show both sides.
Yeah. Basically. And it works. I have always believed that the comedians, the funny people who take on serious roles often just really do amazing things with it. I think back to people like Robin Williams, who were scary as hell when he took on a creepy role, and you're like, it shouldn't work, but it does. And it's part of it is just skill, talent. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe the contrast between what you've seen and what you're being shown, sometimes it makes a difference too. And it goes the other way. For a while there, Robert De Niro was really funny when he would be in comedies for a while there. I'm going back to, I'm talking,
shots fired.
I'm talking Midnight Run. I'm talking movies that, that he did when he was, he was funny. And then it just got to be ridiculous.
Just wait for Meet the Parents 4.
I'm really excited, be great. Actually. Ariana Grande's in it. I'm very excited.
Which I can't imagine who she's going to play, but we'll find out.
I don't care.
All right.
She's hilarious.
All right. I did not know that. I thought you were joking. Is there really a Meet the Parents 4 coming?
No, yeah, they are. Yeah. And Ariana Grande is going to be in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
we're in the zeitgeist, Dave.
I will withhold judgment, and I'm optimistic, but we shall see. All right. So before we get out of here, let's hit one more time. Bottom Gun through July 26th at Good Luck Macbeth. Get tickets at goodluckmacbeth.org. Tell him you know Christopher Daniels, and he ordered you to check it out.
That's absolutely right.
And then Crocodile Nixon, if it's Monday, July 14th, and you're hearing this, go tomorrow, July 15th. Otherwise, go to renolittletheater.org and look at upcoming dates. It's roughly monthly, but we'll see if maybe there are more coming, and maybe other gigs that you guys could get into down the road, because you're hilarious together. I'm coming out to a show now because I want to see you guys together again. It's really fun. You guys have so much fun, and it makes it, there is chemistry in improv for sure.
Definitely.
And when you see it, it's fun to behold. So thank you guys for getting back together and for coming in here together. This is fun. I enjoy talking to you guys. Let's do it again.
This is amazing.
Thanks for having us.
We'll do more stuff.
Okay.
All right. So watch Artifacts, please, on PBS Reno via broadcast or streaming on pbsreno.org or the PBS Reno YouTube channel or the PBS app, and also read art views at pbsreno.org. And now, do you have a question or maybe a comment or a suggestion? If so, please send them to me at podcast@pbsreno.org. My thanks to Ian Sorensen, Christopher Daniels, and thank you for listening to PBS Reno Arts.
Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.